forget to like and share and subscribe.
What's up, Broncos country, and welcome to another episode of Keep Your Eye on the Ball, your YouTube channel dedicated to all things Denver Bronco football with me, your host, Adam. Remember, as always, to like, share, subscribe, buy me presents. It's been a little light in the present department around the Uribe's household, so I don't want to step your game up, but okay. This week, we'll be continuing our series on the roster and going over our inside linebackers. Admittedly, this may be one of the weaker points on the team, but that doesn't mean that there still isn't some talent there, and I'll be giving you who I think will be starting, who will be contributing, and then who may be best of the rest. So without further ado, let's get into the meat potatoes of this thing. So as I stated in the intro, we'll be going over our inside linebackers this week. I'm going to try something a little bit different presentation-wise. I'm going to be giving a blurb about each guy in alphabetical order, and I'll just tell you, do I think he's a starter, do I think he's a contributor, or is he best of the rest? Hopefully, this makes it a little bit more easier to go through. I was watching last week's episode. I did not like that I was droning on for 4 minutes. It's not great video. So I'm gonna try it again. If you like it, leave me a comment. If you hate it, leave me another comment. And let's jump in. In alphabetical order, we have Lavelle Bailey. He is an undrafted rookie from Fresno State, 6'2" and 225 pounds. Last year, he had 82 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 picks. He was a second-team All-Mountain West selection. From watching some of his highlights on YouTube and then looking at his draft profile by Lance Zierlein on NFL.com, I kind of thought the same thing that he thought. He has a great motor, which it seems like needs to be a trait to be in Vance Joseph's defense. However, he is a little bit light for the position, but you don't see coverage skills like that in the middle. So I'm wondering if they're kind of thinking outside the box of him for a little bit, and maybe he will be like a big nickel, like what they did with David Bruton back in the Super Bowl years. So I still think he's the best of the rest. Maybe he's a practice squad candidate, but he does have an interesting skill set at middle linebacker that you don't see a ton of. So moving right along to our next linebacker, we have Cody Barton, 6'2", 237 pounds. He's in his 6th year from Utah. He is one of our free agent pickups this year. Last year with Washington, he had 121 tackles and 1 pick. Also significant is his time in Seattle in 2022, where he had 133 tackles, 2 picks, and 2 sacks. He reminds me a lot of Alex Singleton in that he is great versus the run, and he's limited in what he does versus the pass. Now, I say limited because I don't want to say bad. He's not bad in that respect. He's just has a certain ceiling with that. He will be there in the position that he needs to be. He knows assignments. He knows depths. He knows coverages. He's just not the most athletic linebacker in the world, and that's what you need to be a good pass linebacker. Again, I don't want to say he's bad. He's just limited, and he's very much like a guy that we already have. So we'll be very good against the run if he is a starter, and I do believe he will be. We're just going to be a little bit one-dimensional on the run side of the ball, in that we're going to be really, really good with 2 guys who can run and chase. We're just may not be as good versus the past when it comes to the 2 guys in the middle. Next up, we have Jonas Griffith. He's a 6'4", 250-pound linebacker who's in his 4th year from Indiana State. His last numbers are from 2022, where he had 41 tackles and 1 pick. He eventually was playing in Alex Singleton's role until he got hurt, and that's how Singleton took over his spot. As far as physicality, I like Griffith's size and measurables and speed. And I do think that when he has been on the field, he has played at a starter's level, but you just can't count on him being healthy. That is the biggest thing holding him back. With both Barton and Singleton being established NFL veterans, and them being healthy, I don't know how much Griffith is going to play, but the team did think enough of him to re-sign him as a restricted free agent. So I like Griffith. I don't know where he fits in the rotation as of right now, but he will be playing a little bit come 2024, so he is definitely in my contributor pile. The star of the linebacking core is probably going to be Alex Singleton this year. 6'2", 240 pounds. He's in his 6th year from Montana State. Last year, he had 175 stops and 2 sacks. To put that in perspective, he had 100 solo tackles by himself. And in today's NFL, as the linebacker, to get 100 tackles is quite a few. So that really should tell you how active he is in run support and in the run game. Where you don't see as much production as in the passing game, again, like I said with Cody Barton, and what I would say with Josie Jewell, is that scheme-wise, they know where to be. They know technique to put themselves in the best positions that they can be. They just don't have the athleticism that goes along with it, which still leaves us a little susceptible on defense to anybody that attacks the middle of the field via the pass. It's hard finding these guys in the draft or anywhere else for that matter. So I don't necessarily blame Denver for not improving that part of the defense. It just seems like they have two guys that are kind of similar in Barton and Singleton. Great in run support, kind of average versus the past. Not a bad thing, but it is what it is when it comes to that part of the defense. The next person up is Andre Smith. He is a newly signed linebacker, most recently of Atlanta. 6 foot, 240 pounds in his 5th year from North Carolina. He did play in all 16 games last year, all in special teams roles with Atlanta. I was looking at some of his stats. He has played on a few different teams, all in special team situations, but he's managed to kind of carve a reputation for himself as a very good special teams linebacker. So he figures that that will be the battle to see for that 5th linebacker or the 4th linebacker spot between him and Justin Sternad. Since the 4th or 5th linebackers need to primarily be good special teamers, that is probably, I think, is where the his money's going to be made. If he can be better than Sternad in special teams, then it'll be him. If Sternad can be better in that role, then Sternad will play. It is not the most sexy linebacker battle, but that is what it's going to be. If he does make the team, I will say Andre Smith will be in the best of the rest category. And last, we have Justin Sternad. He is 6'3", 235 pounds. He has spent his entire year with Denver, 5th year out of Wake Forest. He has been primarily a special teamer. This has been the role that he's been able to carve out for himself. Anytime he's been asked to do anything other than be a special teamer, he has not performed well. For anybody that remembers, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we were playing Cleveland on a Thursday night, and Justin Sternad was the guy that gave up a 3rd down conversion on a run by Case Keenum. You heard that correctly. Case Keenum ran over Justin Sternad and got a 1st down. That is what I remember Justin Sternad for. I feel like I pick on him a little too much because that play like lives rent-free in my head. Seeing Case Keenum truck Justin Sternad. So I don't know why. In all seriousness, it's going to be Sternad or Smith for that last linebacker spot. Sternad does have some starting experience. He did re-sign with Denver, so it does show that the team does like him on a certain level. I don't know why, but they like him, so that's all that matters, right? And if he's better than Andre Smith, he will make the roster. If not, it will be Smith, and Sternad will be a next Bronco, which isn't good for him, and that's all that matters, I guess. So to put a nice little bow on all this, I think it's going to be Cody Barton and Alex Singleton as your starters, Jonas Griffith and Andre Smith as your backups, and Justin Sternad may be on the way out or on a practice squad or cut. I don't think they will do any more than 4 and because Smith is a better special teamer, I think he will get the edge over Sternad. However, if they do keep a fifth, it will probably be Sternad. I just don't see where the other two guys like Barton or maybe another rookie linebacker that they bring in is really going to do much to upset that apple cart. However, this is one of the more shallow talent positions on the team. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just very limited in what they can do. I still don't see a coverage linebacker in this unit, and they will probably still struggle against the middle of the field attack a little bit. So to summarize, they're going to be great versus the run. They don't have a ton of depth, and it's definitely a point to maybe improve this group next season. So as I mentioned last week, I did have a big announcement about the channel and my social media posts as a whole. I have recently joined leatherbrains.com as an NFL analyst. And now what this means is that I'll be producing 2 written pieces a week, one covering the Broncos and one covering general NFL news. Leatherbrains is an up-and-coming site. They're already starting to get a foothold in the sports region, sharing, whatever we're calling it nowadays, but they are a sports site dedicated to primarily football, and they have a ton of other stuff out there. They get a ton more eyeballs on their content, and I'm glad to be part of this now. And as well, they'll be helping me cross promote all my other things like my YouTube channel and my TikTok channel. So I am super excited to be getting my work out to more people. When I started this a year ago, it was to not just be a talking head, to not just be a Bronco apologist, and to not be just a Bronco bomb thrower either. I wanted to give you sober analysis that was rooted in being a fan, but also was backed up by watching games and giving you the analysis that goes with it. So I am super pumped to get that out to more people. As always, remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe, remember to buy me presents. And next week I'll hit you with another position review as we get into the gravy of the season, and it is just around the corner. We are not that far away from real football. So as always, keep your eye on the ball, and I'll talk to you next time. So without further ado, let's get into the meat potatoes of the episode and get to it. I don't know where I was going with that.